welcome to another episode of Lucas Live. Excited to be here with you guys today. Once again, we have another great show, another exciting show, another amazing show. And I'm excited today. I got some music playing. I'm going to turn this music up a little bit, y'all. I'm going to turn it up. Is that all right? We can turn the music up? Okay, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. All right. You want to be able to hear me, right? Okay, I got a little music playing because we got some special birthdays today, okay? We have some special birthdays today. First of all, I hope you guys can hear me because I had to turn the music up. Let me turn it up one more time. All right, I'm gonna turn it back down. All right, it's cool. All right, so we have some special birthdays. Now, this is, actually this song, this particular beat was playing on my birthday, July 9th. That was almost 2 months ago, which is crazy. And we had a lot of fun. I had Officer Lamar Sharp on. Shout out to him and his Be a Better Me Foundation here in Canton, Ohio. But today, some special people to the show have a birthday today, and I just want to shout them out. Some special people to me, and I just want to celebrate them today. First, my manager here at Lucas Live Media, Lynette Beatty. She joined me about 2 months in to do some graphics for me and help me put out those great graphics that you guys see, telling you guys who's the next guest and who's coming up and who's going to be on. And she now has become my manager because she had so many skills. So I talked to her about it, and I finally talked her into it, so it worked out. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go any further, let's make sure we share the show. I almost forgot myself, okay? So if you're on Facebook, you can go to, and you're on Lucas Live Media, you can share the broadcast. Just share it to your feed. Don't share it as a watch party. I'm going to put join the show from Lucas Live Media. Boom. And we're going to be on. All right, we're going to be on. Hey, I'm going to start that music. Let's bring the music back. Let's try that. Let's do that. So I shared it. Make sure you share wherever you're at. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, LinkedIn. Make sure you hit that share. Let people know. Text somebody, call somebody. Let them know they're missing the show. Like, where you at? Where you at? What are you doing? It's our evening show. I got a lot of evening fans. People are like, we started this thing at 7 p.m. Eastern in the evening, and people are like, what happened? Where'd you go? And I went to the mornings. 2 days a week, I'm 8 a.m. Eastern. But on Thursdays, here we are at 7 p.m. to make sure we don't miss you guys. I hope you guys are watching the replay. I thank you guys for watching. So back to our birthday celebration today. Miss Lynette Beatty, again, has just been such a blessing to the show, to the team. She helps me and Amanda, my producer, just sit down and organize and think through the show and get the graphics done and think through who are the guests going to be, what are we talking about, what do we got going on, what's the plan, what's happening. So shout out to her again. I'm so grateful for her, and happy birthday, Lynette. Thank you so much for everything you do for Lucas Live Media, and for Lucas. I'm a real person. I'm not just an entity like Lucas Live Media. I am Lucas, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Also, shout out to Damon and Dwayne Thomas. Happy birthday, twins. They are twins. They're grown men, but they're twins. Shout out twin and twin. Damon and Dwayne Thomas. Dwayne always have been big supporters of mine. Damon is a supporter of the show. Has just done so much and meant so much and always encouraging. I thank him and appreciate him for everything that he's done. And shout out to Dwayne in Spain. I believe Dwayne is still in Spain. Dwayne in Spain. Shout out to them. Happy birthday to them. Also to my great friend, Miss Erica Burr. Shout out to Erica. She's a fan of the show. She watches the show often. She was just on with us yesterday. One of my first friends. My youngest daughter is in 6th grade, and Erica and I became friends in 6th grade, and we've been friends all these years. So shout out to Erica. Happy birthday, Erica. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful birthday. I'm so excited to celebrate with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the music as we celebrated those birthdays today. I'm excited to have you guys. Hello, Vivian. Thank you for being here. I see Miss Vivian King here with us on LinkedIn as others join the broadcast. We want to thank you for being here and for sharing. I know you guys are going to come on into the broadcast, right? Like, I can't see who all is watching unless you make a comment. And if you can make a comment, I appreciate it. If you're busy, you're driving, you're watching a replay, it's all good. You can still make comments on the replay as well. But I understand some of you guys listen to this like a podcast because it's a podcast. It's just you get to watch the live recording of a podcast. It's pretty cool. And if you choose to participate, you get to participate. You get to ask questions. You get to have fun. You get to chime in. So I appreciate everybody who does that as well. I got my phone over here making too much noise. And when you're live, stuff happens live, like crazy stuff. stuff goes wrong. One of these days, like, I got lights on. One of the light bulbs going to burn out or something crazy. I have a camera here. My wife was in studio with me one day. She almost kicked the camera over accidentally, didn't realize that it was on the tripod and whatnot. But, things happen in a live show. But I appreciate everybody who supports it. Aaron Muhammad, I believe, here on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being here. Christina, my cousin. I can't see the hearts. She just asked me if I could see the hearts from Periscope. Shout out to the Periscope Twitter audience out there. I can't, but thank you. Because later I can look on Periscope and see them. Christina, you're the super fan of all super fans. We got to give you a prize. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the hearts and all the love. But I appreciate you guys. Whatever social media platform you're on, if there's hearts, if there's love, if there's likes, if there's shares, whatever you guys do, we appreciate it. You guys make this show great. Takia, thank you for being here. Hello, my friend. Glad you are here today. So glad to have you guys. I love your background. Thank you, Vivian. Yes, the ambiance in the room. I like to change it up a little bit, here and have a different little level of ambiance from time to time. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you, for watching this, again, live or by replay, I can't thank you guys enough for your love and support. I run into people all the time everywhere I go now who talk about the show. And I'm surprised at times at how many people are watching the show and supporting the show. And it just feels so good, Men, women, young people, older people, business people, people everywhere. People on LinkedIn and business. I talk to people about doing business, and they're like, I watch your show. I'm like, wow, I didn't know, right? People who watch on YouTube or Facebook, people who I know in the community, people who I've never met who stop me and say, hey, I see your show, I watch your show, I'm proud of you. Keep going, I love what you're doing. It feels so good, and it encourages me to continue to move forward and continue to do this, and hopefully continue to make a difference. The goal of this show is education, motivation, liberation. It's about you. We want to educate you about something that you didn't know or didn't realize or didn't understand. We want to educate you. We want to motivate you to do something with what you've learned. Motivate you to take you from having head knowledge to having heart knowledge to having actionable knowledge that you take and you do something to change your life. That is the goal of the show. Education, motivation, and liberation is breaking the chains. So many times we're bound by old thinking, by old ways of doing things, because mama, grandma, uncle, cousin, brother, dad, they always told us this. They always said it had to be done that way. And I want you to be set free today. We're going to talk to our guest today, owns her own publishing company. She's a screenwriter. She's an author. She's a model. She's going to liberate somebody today. Somebody's like, I can't do my dream. I can't be this. I can't do that and that. She's going to set somebody free today. Education, motivation, liberation is always the goal of the show. So glad to have you guys here. Good. Aaron, I'm glad I pronounced your name right. So glad you're here. My wonderful wife, Corinne Marie Tyndale, welcome to the audience. Thank you for being here. She's at track practice with our daughter and still watching. See, you can be other places. You might have your kids at practice somewhere. They'll be fine. Leave them with the coaches. The theme today is leave them with the coaches. And enjoy the show. Glad to have you. Jamie, thank you so much for being here. Glad you are here. Appreciate all of you guys, and again, appreciate all the shares. Shout out to the birthday club today, who we shouted out. Lynette, wonderful manager, Damon and Dwayne, and Erica. Shout out to all of you. And also Tiffany Allison. I believe it's her birthday today as well. I talked to her, messaged her today. We were messaging about her father, Sergeant Bruce Allison, former police officer Bruce Allison, who we're going to have on the show one day. So if you're watching, you're welcome, and we're reaching out, and we look forward to having you. And thank you, Tiffany, his daughter, for helping coordinate and getting me connected to him. So I'll be reaching out to him to have that conversation. Now let's talk to our sponsors. You guys see this here? I got notes. I don't know if y'all knew this, but I'm not much of a notes guy. Okay, I just kind of talk. I do the thing. I ask people questions, and we have a good time. I love people. I love learning about people. I love getting education, motivation, liberation as much as the next person. So I just ask the questions I want to know. And then we participate with you guys in the live audience, and that's how we do it. And we make it great, and we have a great time. And that's how it usually goes. But for our sponsors, my producer, Amanda, shout out to Amanda Jean Duke, she got me together. Because, see, she knows how to write commercials and write ads. Because we got people who want to, support the show. And I want to make sure we support the show, right? Because I might say the thing or not say the thing or miss something. And then things won't be what they're supposed to be. So let me start with my sponsors today. Shout out to our first sponsor today, Flawless Touch. We've been talking about Flawless Touch They make that a little bigger on your screen there. Check them out. Flawless Touch. Their professional technicians will enhance the appearance of your vehicle through window tinting, auto detailing, and audio installation while maintaining the integrity of your vehicle. You can check out a full list of services and pricings at flawlesstouchwindowtint.com or contact them for a free quote with the information on the screen. Check out Flawless Touch LLC. You see their information there. You guys check them out. Show them some love. Support what they are doing. Shout out to my good friends over at Flawless Touch. Check them out. Our next sponsor is Restream. Shout out to Restream. Restream is the broadcasting service that I use to broadcast this to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Periscope, right? Normally you go live on Facebook or you go live on YouTube. I go live all those places because of this great service called Restream. Restream is a cloud multi-streaming service that allows users to simultaneously stream video content to multiple platforms and social networks, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, LinkedIn, Periscope, and more. Millions of people around the world use Restream to reach, engage, and monetize their audiences. Users range from professional and amateur gamers, Fortune 500 companies, media politicians, and celebrities. So join Restream today by using www.restream.io. Again, that's www. I don't know who puts in the W. Anybody put in the www anymore? www. It's not even W. It's W. www. But it's restream.io. So check that out, restream.io. If you're interested in podcasting, broadcasting, multi-streaming, restream.io is what I would recommend for everybody to check out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, got my notes done. Throw those. Then who's that? Like Johnny Carson or somebody? Through their note when they're, I don't know who did that. Anyway, without any further delay, I want to welcome on our guest today. Again, I said several of the things that she does, and I'm sure there's more to know, and we're going to learn about her today. She's going to share her story and talk with us about some of the things she's doing and possibly how she can help you. Welcome to the show, Miss Felicia Dortch. Welcome to the show.
I'm just super excited to get my name correctly.
I'm super excited I said your name correctly. You know, names can be tricky, okay? Glad to have you here today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's exciting and a pleasure to meet you here virtually. We've met via LinkedIn. I tell people all the time the power of LinkedIn. You meet amazing people, you connect, you do business. LinkedIn. I tell people all the time. And I don't think a lot of people believe me. I think they think I'm playing. And we had the opportunity to meet, and I saw some of the things you were doing, and I was just impressed, and I asked a little more, and you shared a little more, and then I mentioned maybe having you on the show. And it took us a little time, but here we are. Finally, we made it, right?
Yeah.
So where are you coming to us from? I'm here in Ohio. Where are you at, and where are you from originally?
I am in Houston, Texas, and I'm from Crosby, Texas, which is a little speck outside of Houston.
Okay. So you came from a little speck, and then you moved to the big city, because Houston's about as big as Ohio altogether. I don't know. Houston's a big city, right? Houston's got a lot going on there, and you have a lot going on that you do. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? A little bit. Why don't you start with some of the current things that you have going on? What are you currently doing?
Okay. Well, not probably the
Right. Start with the list of things I'm not doing. I'm not the garbage man. Okay, start with the list.
I usually tell people I'm a nurse, I'm a model, I'm an author, I'm a publisher, a screenwriter, a speaker, part-time superhero.
Okay.
That is
I love it. Model, screenwriter, nurse. So your day job, your full-time job is as an RN, is that right?
Absolutely. I'm a nurse analyst. I've been in the operating room for 18 years.
Wow.
About the last 4 years, I've been as a nurse analyst, which we analyze medical records and basically break it down to help the lawyer understand what happened during surgery. So I'm a surgery specialist. I can break down any type of procedure to help them understand within any case that they're trying.
Wow. I'm sitting here like, that's serious. So I don't even think we understand that. So that is in cases of malpractice suits, or everybody needs a lawyer after surgery. I didn't know. What are we talking about? What's happening?
But it's just malpractice. It could be anything that has happened, and when they say, okay, this happened as a result of this product or this service or this vehicle, then normally they'll go to the doctor. So then they'll have all of these records, and they'll come to me and have me help them walk through it chronologically so they can happen. But I dig through everything, so I'm able to tell the story of what actually happened because I.
Wow. So how did you get into that? Because somebody out there, again, I know you heard education, motivation, liberation. Somebody out there is like, I want to be a nurse, but I don't know if I want to really, what I want to do at the hospital. Do I really want to, do I want to work in the ICU? Do I want to work in the operating room? Do I want to work in the NICU? Do I want to, what do I want to do? I don't know that I've ever heard of such a thing as what you do. So help us understand a little bit more about that, and how did you get into that? Was that like always your goal, your plan, and you knew the road to this thing, or you ended up here? How did you get to this, and how can others, if they're aspiring to do this, how can they get into something like that?
Absolutely. Actually, in nursing school, you're going to go through all aspects of nursing. But at the very end, you'll do just a little bit of legal aspect of nursing.
Okay.
But the role is called consultant.
Say that one more time. It broke up a little bit. I want to make sure we get that. It's called
A legal nurse consultant.
Legal nurse consultant. Okay.
So there are several places out there that you can go and learn, how to be a legal nurse consultant. And then some law offices call it a nurse analyst. It's really the same thing. Okay. So in nursing, you go into the aspect of nursing, and that's when you determine which one you like the most. I actually love the operating room, but I have children, so those hours are not conducive to me raising my children.
Okay.
But I really love figuring out puzzles. I love investigating things. Mm-hmm. So I just go about years ago, certified as a nurse analyst or a legal nurse consultant. I did several contracts but could never find anything full time. And then about 4 years ago, when I moved back from being a travel nurse, I actually landed the position of a full-time nurse analyst.
Wow. That's exciting. So to all of our puzzle solvers out there, to everybody whose kid loves to solve puzzles, or you love to solve puzzles, and you're like, but I think I want to help people in some way, you're a nurse analyst. So okay, you're a nurse. And one final question about this nurse analyst. So do you treat patients, or you're just there reviewing records? Not to diminish that. Obviously, that is a very important thing. Is it a dual role, or is it a role that someone could say, I'm interested in nursing, but maybe I'm not in the rooms with everybody? What's that look like?
Oh, I haven't been.
You haven't treated.
No,
you don't even. Your own kids, they get sick, and you're like, nope. You're like,
hey, they'll be all right.
Right. Right.
Every now and then I'll work some hours in the hospital. I stay as an agency nurse just to keep my skills up. But for the most part, I've been reading charts every day, all day for the last 4 years.
Wow.
However, very flexible. If I need to leave and, get my children or something happens with them, I can. Or like right now, thank God, I'm able to work from home. So
most nurses cannot do that. And shout out to them. Shout out to the frontline nurses who are out there doing that. But how cool that somebody out there I know, and I know some friends who have become nurses recently, and some days they're like, I don't know how long I can do this. Because especially becoming a new nurse in this season, right, with everything going on. And there's a lot of seasoned nurses and doctors and others who are like, I can't keep doing this. Like, this is insane. Everybody else is working from home, and I'm doing the hardest job in the riskiest place in the world, treating sick patients. So for somebody out there, there are opportunities, like what Felicia is doing, to do nursing law, sort of, so to speak, right?
Right.
Awesome.
You can further your education and be a nurse lawyer. Like, you can actually continue. One of my coworkers is a lawyer, but she's a nurse. So she's a nurse analyst. And, so you can definitely continue your education like that as well. And the only reason why I'm doing this, because, again, I love the OR, it's just I want to be there for my kids.
Got you. Yep. That's awesome. So You also do several other things. So where do we begin? So let's talk a little bit about you as an author. What have you done as far as being an author? Is that something you're continuing to do or plan to continue to do? What does the author road look like for you?
Absolutely. I've been writing in, so I actually love.
Mhm. Hold on, I think for some reason your mic is not picking up. I could hear you said, I love writing, and then we saw your mouth moving and nothing came out. I don't know if you were doing that to be funny. You were just doing the ventriloquist thing. But all right, one more time. Tell us a little bit about your road as an author. Maybe if you speak
Yeah.
up, it'll catch it. I don't know what it's doing.
Okay. Well, I've been writing for a very long time, but ever since the fifth grade, I've even done competitions. Even in college, I used to charge the football players to write for them.
Somebody's got to do it. I mean, how will they get through?
But my mom told me that I couldn't make a career out of it. That I needed something steady. So that's why I decided on nursing. I like the body. I love science. I took science as an elective. So I was like,
Wow.
I'll just do that.
That's a real love for it.
So, but so then when I started writing, I would just create stories. My children love when I do that. They rather me create a story than to read them one.
Right.
But the current marriage that I was in, it was an abusive one. So
Wow.
I stopped writing for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So once I got out of that situation, I started writing again, and then I started trying to find someone to publish my books. I kept running into roadblocks. It was so unobtainable.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody but God landed me to another young lady that taught me how to create a publishing company.
Wow.
So I said, you know what? If I can't get them published, I'll create my own company and publish my own
I
company.
love it.
So I've published so far for myself. I'm on my fifth book, which one of them has actually been turned into a movie. And
Wow.
I've about 15 clients that I've already published, and I'm continuing to publish more.
That is incredible. Okay, so first of all, I know a lot of my wife and I have written books, and we've self-published books, but we didn't like create a publishing company, right? And then we didn't go out and publish other people's. And we've worked with other people or given other people advice. My wife has worked with other people. She's done ghostwriting and other things also. But to create a publishing company, to put out 5 books, and I got to get back to the one became a movie. I want to hear about that. And also to help others publish 15 books is amazing. So real quick, just in case somebody tunes into this piece and misses something else, if somebody's interested in publishing their own book, they've written a book, they're working on the book, like what can you do for them? How can they work with you? Well, how does that work?
Oh, absolutely. I have a full service publishing company. So I ghostwrite as well.
Okay.
So graphic artist, a formatter, an editor with full service. We can market, so it's pretty much just them reaching out to me, going on my website or DMing me on LinkedIn, which is where I mostly get most of my clients
Okay,
from,
right.
and get started on it. And I have a quick turnaround. And one of the biggest things about me that you won't find in other companies, I don't touch royalty.
Wow.
That's all.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So they can find you at purposepublishingllc.com. Is that right?
That is correct.
Purpose Publishing LLC, ladies and gentlemen. If you're interested, we're going to talk to Felicia some more. But if you're interested and you have a book or a book idea and you're looking for some help, some support, some help. What about if a lot of people want to write a book? Everybody has a book idea in their mind. They're like, I got a book. It's up here somewhere. We're like, well, we can't read it up there. So they're trying to get it down on paper. They're trying to get it down on the computer. They're trying to do. Can you help people at least know where to start and then say, well, okay, once you're here, then we can pick up from here? What does that process look like to the person who hears this today? They're watching this live or by replay, and they're like, well, I should reach out to her. I have this book idea. Where would you tell them to start if all they have is an idea?
Absolutely. So we would discuss their idea, and then I'll ask them, do you want me to write it or do you want me to help you write it? So with, of course, ghostwriting, I'll do the whole thing from idea completion. It's done.
Ooh.
And writing it, I'm giving so many pages back to them so they can read and make sure I'm following what's in their head.
Right.
And sometimes I'll ask them, can you at least give me an outline of events? If I'm writing your life story, give me some key events. Then I can write.
Otherwise, I'm making up stuff. I'm like,
I'm-
and then the bus came by. You're like, I don't know if it was a bus.
And then if they're stuck and they say, I want to do this process, I simplify it for them. What people don't understand is you don't have to sit down and make it perfect. Just get the words on paper.
Whew.
And then you give it to me, editor, for perfection.
Let's go. I love this.
I don't even have to give me audio recordings. If you can't write it, talk to me, and I will write it.
Felicia, I got about 10 books stuck up here. Remember I said I got books? I got books. Now I got books, actual books too. Don't worry. I got real books around here. I got real books I've done. But man, sometimes I'm like, man, I have other book ideas. And it's funny because I told somebody one day, I was like, I'm going to write a book. I wrote my first book in 7 sittings. I didn't do it in a week straight, but I only sat down. It was probably over the course of a month and a half. I only sat down 7 times to write this book because it was something that was so near and dear to me. It was just like pure. It was like this concept. It's a relationship book to women about. It's called The Man Manual: 10 Steps to Better Understanding Your Man, and it's just talking about men in general. And it's advice I've always been giving to women and talking to them about here's how men think, here's how they work, here's a simple format. It's not exactly one size fits all, but it's a simple format. So I did that and then self-published, put it on Amazon, did those things, went through that process, got an editor. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. And even now, even though I do know how to do that, sometimes I'm like, I don't have time, right? Like, I have it here. I could easily speak it. I got the whole setup. I could record the whole audio thing before I could write it. But you could, even for someone like me who's written a book before, or someone who's never written a book before, you could help them from idea to published book where they're getting their own royalties for their book.
Absolutely. Speaking to a mic and it types it. So you don't have to do that.
That's incredible, right? That's amazing. Types it for you. That's awesome and awesome service. So when it comes to this service, like, why did you do it the way you did it? Because most publishing companies are like, well, yeah, if I'm going through all this trouble for you, I get a part of the money. Like, that's a part of the deal. I'm your publisher, and it's like a record deal. It's like you get some money or whatever, and or we're going to just split the profit somehow. So why did you come up with this idea, and why did you decide to go kind of a non-traditional route?
Through prayer. Honestly, through prayer, because it's the things that we want to do. Some things are just beyond reach, and that's so I had to bring something down that was reachable to me. And then if I'm feeling that way, there are tons of people out there feeling the same way. So I felt in my heart that I needed to do it this way, and it's been great for me because all it does is keep people coming. They're sending more people to me, so I'm doing it the way that God told me to do it.
And He's blessing it. That is amazing. I mean, I really, really love it. And I think I know some people who I'm going to have to refer and send your way, because even my wife has helped people with their books and things. At times it's like they do need more than what we can offer or what she can offer. She's like, I can help you with some structure. I can help you with some storytelling. If it was purely a ghostwriting thing, she could do some of those things. But I mean, to be able to do all the things you do is amazing. So graphic design, editor, these are people you brought in or you contract with, you work with, and you said, I'm going to build a team around this. I'm guessing you're not a nurse and a publisher and an author and a model and a mother and an editor and so you.
No.
I know. So you have some people who you work with as well to help fill in the gaps. Is that right?
Absolutely, because I also homeschool my 9th graders. I have twins as well.
Cool.
I can't do everything. I mean, I am really a superhero.
I get it.
Superheroes tired.
Right.
But we're all virtual. We meet up. We discuss the idea, and they know what's going on. We just keep it flowing, and it comes back around to me, and it's completed. I'm a vendor for Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. So it's a full company. It's not just me taking their book and self-publishing it for them.
Really?
for Barnes and Nobles and Amazon.
What? Felicia, you didn't tell me all this. I knew you were fascinating when I found you on LinkedIn. Once upon a time, I don't remember if it was a post. I don't remember what it was, but it was just like you just seemed like you had an interesting story. You had a lot of things that you were doing. I was like, man, she seems like she would be a good guest for the show. And I think I remember I looked back at the messaging and I was like, I just want to talk more about it. And you shared a little bit more about it. And I was like, well, I got this show. It's like sometimes I'm thinking people might be like, okay, right? But you were like, no problem.
I did. I watched it because I'm up super early.
Okay.
It'll pop on LinkedIn, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." I was really enjoying the show, so I started following the shows, and I was like, I'm enjoying this."
That's awesome. I appreciate that. I remember you commenting on some of the shows and being there. I thought it was because I asked you to come on, and then you were like, let me check this out and make sure it's legit. But I appreciate that you appreciate it and that you're enjoying it. And it is exciting, and it's really fun to be able to be here live on LinkedIn right now. Shout out to all the LinkedIn viewers right now. If you're watching this again live or by replay, we really appreciate it. It's super cool. And somebody out there watching this on any platform, again, you have a book idea or you know someone and you've been telling them, you need to do that book, girl. You need to do that book, my man. You need to do that book, husband, wife, child, whoever. You should do that, whatever, children's book, that self-help book, that love story, that whatever in the world it is. You need some help. So what about the different types of books? I just named a bunch of stuff as though you could do everything. What if I want to write a children's book? Can you help?
Absolutely. I do everything except like porn or erotica.
So wait, Felicia. I thought you were a full circle. I thought you did everything to help the people. Now wait a minute. We got to have some boundaries here, right? And I think that's really fair. And I think that's a challenge because I think people would be surprised at how much of that exists out there. Because I know my wife was ghostwriting and doing some more things. She was shocked at how much of that was out there and how many gigs there were for people to write these things. It's like, if that's your thing, write that thing. Like, that's not everybody's thing. Like, that's not a, yeah.
If they push the envelope, then, because I'll read it and I'm like, no, I'm not putting my company on that. Because honestly, I love psycho thrillers. I just wrote one, but how far you go with it is like, no, I can't do that because my company was built on Christian principles. Yep. Only so far I'll go with the book.
I love that and I respect that a lot. And I think a lot of people don't understand as a brand, we do have to be conscious of that. I had a great conversation with a mentor yesterday. We were talking about you got to protect the brand. You got to protect those that are following. You got to be careful. You got to be conscious. You got to be aware, of those things. So that's important. So I love that. I don't think I fully grasped the depth of your company that while it was a publishing company, that it really is full service and then it doesn't take any royalty. So we may come back to that because I know somebody's going to tune in later and miss that part. And that's the part I really want to make sure they can get that. PurposePublishingLLC.com. Make sure you guys do that. And then your Instagram is Dortch Felicia, at Dortch Felicia. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So you guys make sure you check her out there and follow her and stay tuned to what she has going on and what she's doing. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other things you're into. You tell us, what are some of the other things you're into now and or were things that you did before, the modeling, the screenwriting? Is all those things simultaneous? Is it like I do this in the spring and this in the fall? I did this in 2018 and I'm planning that thing for 2021. What's the flow of all these things for you?
Well, since we were talking about writing, I'll talk about the screenwriting right after. So I learned that from a friend of mine, John, and he teaches screenwriting. And I thought that was interesting. I've always loved to create and had movie ideas, but it was the format that I couldn't understand. So I had to learn the format.
Yeah.
Ended up landing me a position with a film company in Atlanta. So I write for a film company.
You're kidding. Wait. How do I beat these fast? People ask me all the time. I'm sorry to cut you off. People ask me all the time, how do you meet these fascinating people? How do you know? I'm like, I don't know everybody like personally, right? I'm like, I see interesting people. I'm not afraid to ask. And really, to be honest, and I think you can understand this, God does the rest.
Absolutely.
I'm like, God knows everybody. I don't, but he knows everybody. And he certainly knows how to bring his children together to do great things and put things out there and support each other in ways like this. That is phenomenal. My wife actually has written multiple books, but she has series of three. Her first book was called A Small Piece of Her Heart, beautiful love story. And then she wrote a screenplay to it and is looking to do something with that. And she recently wrote a book that she wrote as a screenplay, and then she made it into a book, and she put it out as a web series the book form on Medium, every week people could get another chapter or set of chapters, which was like a movie, and everybody was following along like watching a show. So we live that in our house, the screenwriting, the author, we think about that a lot. So you're in Texas and you got to deal with somebody in California. What? Help us understand. God is good. I just want to say you are blessed.
It's actually in Atlanta.
Right.
And
Okay. Atlanta.
yeah, so I submitted some writing and they liked it. So we got a contract going and we're working on something huge for California. So I'm super excited.
Oh, cool. So what do you feel like, Felicia? I mean, to be honest, for some people, you are doing some things that people like dream of doing. Just even a piece of it, like publishing a book, right? Not only did you publish multiple books, you've published multiple books for others or helped them publish books, and you started a publishing company and your screenwriting. What does this feel like for you? Does it feel like, well, it's a lot of, and you're a nurse doing something that you really enjoy? Like, what is the deal? What is the secret? Help people understand. I just feel this thing in your life right now. Like, it just sounds so blessed. Like, what's the secret? What's the deal?
Not giving up and believing what God has for me can no one stop.
Whew.
You know, it's your time, it's your time. Now, if you would ask me this question last year, I probably would have given you a different answer because it wasn't my time.
Wow.
Some things that had to be cleared out of my path. Not everybody can go on your journey. And at that time, I had people on my journey that wasn't supposed to go with me.
Wow.
So I worked that and then everything started falling into place. See, what people need to understand is your path, when you follow God's purpose, everything lines up. He put one step after the next.
Wow. I love it. That is incredible. And even more interesting that just a year ago, you wouldn't have had all of this to say. Okay. Is that what you're saying? The picture wouldn't have looked so clear.
No. 4 years prior to this, I was nearly killed by my ex-husband. I had been in a domestic violent relationship for over 20 years. And could not get out of it, was scared to try to get out of it. It took a lot of work and a lot of people. So the things that I'm telling you about and going to tell you about are things that I was already doing but was told I couldn't do.
Wow.
Modeling. This is nothing new. I've been modeling since the 9th grade, but had to stop.
Wow.
So it picked right back up again and fell right into place. So everything that I'm doing was something I've always wanted to do. But because I didn't follow, and it was several signs that I needed to go, but I was afraid and I didn't trust that God was going to move me and he was putting people in the place to move me, I kept being fearful.
Wow.
So he sent another group of young ladies who built me up first. Then I felt strong enough to lead, and I did. And that's when everything fell into place. But I had to go through a period of almost 3 years of rebuilding me. Because how can you if I'm already broken?
Who say that? Don't now listen. You're setting somebody free. So let's talk about that a little bit before we get into. I want to hear a little bit more about the screenwriting and the modeling and the other, and even just being a parent. But if you don't mind sharing a little bit about that, what is it like when you know you have so many gifts, so much that God has given you, so much inside of you, things you had done before, things you knew you could do and aspired to do, but you were being pushed down and shut down. Help us, kind of give us a picture of life and how that may have felt during that time.
Absolutely miserable. I would have rather be dead than to be alive. By itself. I knew that, but I was still open. I couldn't. How did you go
I'm
so
sorry.
long?
It was cutting out a little bit. Okay, so I want you to, sorry. And I don't know what's causing that. Internet, guys, it's live. You know, stuff slows down sometimes. So I'm sorry. If you could start that point again. I think we could hear pieces of it, but I don't want this to be missed. And this could be the thing that God meant to set somebody free, right? And of course, here it goes, mess it up, right? So again, what was it like in that? Because this is liberation. This is the liberation piece, I think. What was it like to be locked in, knowing you had so much more to give?
It was absolutely miserable. You know, I didn't have the will to live, had no excitement. People always asking me, how did you stay so long? And what they don't understand is when anybody break you mentally, nothing, there's nothing you can do because you've lost all hope within yourself. So I had to build myself back up before I can even realize that every tool and thing I needed, I had already at my disposal.
Wow. Wow. So somehow through this, and so you have, you're just your twins, or you have other children, or what was that like?
5-year-old.
Okay.
I have a girl that he actually had while we were married.
Wow. And then the twins. Okay. So you have children. Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot. So all right. So help us understand now all of that you've been through. You come out of that. You have a career. You have skills. You have gifts. You're able to step out and pick up. So you say modeling. You were modeling in ninth grade. You come out of all these years of this abusive relationship, and somehow now somebody out there watching is like, I've always wanted to model and haven't found a way in. Somehow help us understand, like, what, how does that work? How do you just,
I had given up on it actually, and I was helping somebody else get started. And I did a photo shoot just to do it. And when I finished doing it, they were like, "Oh my God, we need to submit these." And I
wow.
was like, "Do it." And then it went from there. So I went from just helping someone else to now walking in New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week.
Wait, what? Wait. Hold on. Sometimes on the show, I get thrown off and I have to compose myself. See, real, like if you watch a real show, like on TV, which one day I'm gonna be there, right? They stay composed and they're like, yes, as you said, and such, blah, blah, blah. Not me. No, I'm just real. I just have real moments. Like, wait, I knew you were a model, but modeling is a lot of stuff, right? It's people who model and have great careers, and their stuff is in the JCPenney ad or in the sports performance thing, or they model in a commercial, or they model in coffee cups. They like, I don't know. I didn't know. Maybe it was Folgers. I didn't know what you was modeling. I didn't know. But wait, New York Fashion Week, go rewind. How many years were you out of modeling, and then you get back in, you submit some pictures?
I was
What?
out years, like over 20 years.
What?
So what's your path? What is for you. Can no man shut that door?
People trying to catch this. Okay, you got a blessing that people want to catch. Wow. So, 20 years out, you go back in. Now, listen, if you were out of modeling for 20 years, that means you weren't 20 years old, right? So many people think, well, I'm not 25. I'm not 20. I can't. It's too late for me to do anything that I ever wanted to do, from writing to modeling to any number of things. Men and women are shortchanging themselves because they think it's too late. I missed that window. I missed my chance. But you're a living testimony that that's not true.
That's absolutely not true at all. You have to, we have free will. We make decisions.
Yeah.
So if you just stop and get to know yourself, find out what your purpose is, it's always the right time.
Wow.
If you sit around and continue to say, well, I'll wait till next year, I should have been done that, you're never going to get anywhere.
Mm.
I have a long life to live, and I'll be honest with you, totally transparent. When the agency called, I'm signed with 2 agencies. When they called me, I was like, I can't do this. Like, are you serious?
I'm a
But then I was like,
mother. I have what? How?
listen, my kids was like, you crazy, mom, do it. So,
I love it. Go for it. What you talking about?
what are you
Wow.
doing? You
Wow.
know, everything that I do, they're like in my corner saying, no, do it. And
Wow.
then I realized that they know me from, forever. They saw me at my worst, and now they see how happy I am. It broke my heart to hear my twins say, I like this mommy better.
Mm.
What was I showing them then?
Wow.
So if I go after my dreams, what am I teaching them?
That's so important. I love that. Um, I, we have to be examples to our kids. Not that we have to be perfect, right? But we have to show them the will to push on. We tell our kids, don't give up, don't say no, never say never, all of this stuff. Meanwhile, we're saying, I can't do it. It's never going to happen. It's too late for me. And then we try to tell our kids, go for your dreams before it's too late for you too. It's never too late. The people who don't quit win.
let me tell you, right now, my children are so supportive of me. My 25-year-old has the 13-year-old boy at his football game. The 13-year-old twin girl is in there with my 25-year-old's baby, trying to keep her quiet.
Love it.
Why this?
Wow. That is amazing. It's a team. It takes a village, and you guys are all doing it together. That is incredible. So you went on. Now tell us again. You weren't just modeling coffee cups, as I alluded to, which would be wonderful. Somebody out there is, and they get to model coffee cups, and they're happy, and that's good because that's their dream, or at least a step toward what maybe they want to do. Fashion Week. What are you talking about? Where and what? Say that one more time.
I do print and runway. I made one cover of a magazine, Pump It Up magazine, out of Los Angeles.
Wow.
I did about 2 weeks ago another magazine, print magazine, and then I'm walking for 2 designers at New York Fashion Week. I was actually supposed to be at the Magnifique show in Tennessee, but we had the hurricane here in Texas, the Gulf Coast.
Right.
So I couldn't make it to that one, but I have about 6 other shows lined up already.
Wow. That's crazy. That's phenomenal. We have Tina Frazier here on Facebook. Glad you're here. Thank you so much. She said, this is inspiring me to tears. Divorced 11 years, 4 sons. My oldest is now 22, and my youngest is in his 2nd year of high school. I feel things beginning to pick up and doors beginning to open. This makes me so hopeful. This is awesome. Awesome. Yes. Tina, thank you so much for your comment. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for being here. Tina, I think this was meant to be, for you to be here today, for you to be watching this, for you to be hearing this. This is God's way of saying, keep going, keep pushing, like you're so close. And then he's like, just in case you started to think it wasn't possible, even though God wants us to walk by faith and not by sight, he's gracious enough to give us something that we can see every now and then. An example like Felicia, to say, to see somebody else like Felicia, who's doing it, right? So that you can believe it's possible, and to tell her story, and divorced and has gone through hell to get to heaven, has gone through, and I always say the road to glory is not a glorious road. The road to what God has for us is a mess, and people think it's all easy. It's like, no, the people who make it up the rough side of the mountain. That's what my mom always said. They make it up the rough side because it gives them something to hold on to, but it's not easy, right?
I just want everyone also to know that, trust me, this all sounds phenomenal, and Lord, it is a true blessing, but I do get frustrated. I do have to move some stuff around, try to figure out how I'm gonna do this, figure out how I'm gonna do that, but they don't call me mom boss for nothing. I am very strategic.
Right.
I get up super early, I pray, and then I start my day. I may work on some of my clients, check emails to see who needs to be where, or what, where they need to be in the process, and then I log into work. And as I'm logging into work, I'm teaching 9th graders in high school. So
wow, right.
I'm doing things simultaneously, but it takes a lot of work and dedication. But I know what I want from myself, and I know what I want to show them. So that's what keeps me going. That's
everything. That is literally the will to push on and to invest the time and energy and resources, and even time in prayer. Help us understand a little bit more. You have this thread of faith throughout your story, and what you believe God has done. What have you done personally? How do you exercise your faith? What have you done to strengthen your faith? What would you tell somebody else to do while they go chase their dreams? The Bible says we have to be careful, like, not to gain the world and lose our soul, right? We could get it all and be like, well, God, I'm good now. I got my money. I got my stuff. I got my husband. I got my kids. I got my, whatever it is that they are aspiring to gain, they could get it, or in the pursuit of it, they could leave God behind. How have you continued to stay close to God through now, even though life is not as hard? How do you stay close to God?
And again, in total transparency, it's you have to just do it. Like, I don't want people to think, oh, I just get up, pray, and
skip along.
Gotta set it on my clock and wake me up, and it says pray. Because those are the days when you want to get up and pray. Those are the days you want to sleep in. Yes. And I have to do a lot of things early to get ready to teach them. So it's really being very strategic. And sometimes I don't get up. and
Yeah.
then I'll wait till everybody's asleep and I'll do it then.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure. And some days I don't, because I'm
Sure.
human. I'll get busy. But what I'm trying to condition myself is getting back to getting up and giving my first breath to God, my
Wow.
first, and then go through my day, because I have seen my day go so much smoother when I start there first. So it's just trying to remember to do that. But we were very
Mm.
active in church. My children are very active before COVID. Now everything's online.
Sure.
And I've been lazy about it because it's all online.
Yeah.
So more so, I have to be strategic. And if I have to set my clock for the clock to go off and say pray, then I'll get up and do it. Because if not, I get up and I think of 110 things that I need
Yep.
before the doctor will wake up.
Right.
So,
Yep. That's so true. That's so good too. I love that because it's like dating, right? Like it's like my wife and I, we have to be intentional about date night and dating,
yeah,
right? And some people can say, well, no, it's supposed to be spontaneous. Everything's supposed to be like the movie. It just happens, And no, people who have success are intentional about it. Prayer is intimacy with God. We got to make sure we schedule it, we plan it, we create routines and habits around it, or otherwise, He's gracious and understanding and kinder than anybody I've ever known. So certainly He will forgive me. Well, yeah, He'll forgive me, but I may be missing out on some of the things that He wants to tell me that's going to get me to the things that I've been wanting my whole life. And I missed it because I didn't listen and I didn't spend enough time with Him.
absolutely.
Yep. So tell us a little more about what you have going on. I named several things. You're also a host of a news show. Tell us something. Tell us what else you got going on. Just run it down. I can't keep asking because it's too many things for me to remember. Help us. Tell us the story. What else you got going on?
I am actually a news host on Relationship Entertainment TV on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I pre-record, so I don't want people thinking I'm just that good.
That's okay. Right. Right.
But on that show, I absolutely love it because I'll take things from the news and I'll put a positive spin on it. What's positive out of that story. So I really enjoy that. And with me being a nurse, it's been helping a lot of my audience understanding COVID and, understanding different things like that. Or I talked about mental health and how important that is with this isolation, and we're not being able to be around people as much.
Yeah.
So I cover anything I can think of that I can take a negative and turn it into a positive.
Right. That's incredible. How did you? So you started that yourself? Somebody found you? You sent somebody a video? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I love it. That's what I'm talking about. I be telling me about LinkedIn. You're the first person to come on here and co-sign with me on LinkedIn. People think I'm crazy. So what happened? How did that come about?
I follow their posts, and it's Relationship Entertainment TV. So I'm very engaged in the things that they post, and it has me thinking, so I'm like, oh, I like this post, and I'll say something, I'll make a comment. Well, then they had a post on there about needing a news host. So I sent a message. And then we started talking, and it just went from there. But I prayed about it first. And a friend of mine actually prophesied it. He's like, I see you on your own show. He didn't even know that I did that.
Wow.
And I laughed because that's what I'm doing. And I've met several people on LinkedIn. I'm actually really great friends with executive producer out of Hollywood from LinkedIn. So she's coaching me through, doing these type of interviews and being on TV. And she said, again, I see you having your own show. And I'm like, amen, I receive it.
Amen. That's awesome. That is incredible. Incredible. Your story's incredible. What you've accomplished is incredible. The blessing that you're living in is incredible. I think a lot of times we're praying for things in the future and we never feel like we don't take time to appreciate when we're in the blessing that we prayed for yesterday, because we can be so forward thinking that we're always looking for the next blessing. And I think of it, I once went to Niagara Falls and I was on the boat, the Maid of the Mist, which is, the famous boat that goes into the falls and you're in the water, but you're not in the falls, like all the way into where it would cause the boat to tip over, but you're in the mist, and the mist from the falls is coming onto you and you're getting wet and you're in the mist. And that's what I think about the blessing of God. Sometimes we're riding toward it and we're close enough and it's just pouring on us and we're missing it because we're looking at the greater thing ahead, the power of the falls, or wanting more, and we're missing this mist and this blessing and God raining on us right now. So God has certainly been raining blessings in your life. your road to glory has not been a glorious road, and I'm sure you will face other challenges in your life, but it seems that you have a mindset that you're going to persevere and you're going to make it through and you're going to keep going. If you could share one more thing with our audience, just to kind of educate, motivate, liberate in any way, to help them understand what they can do to accomplish their dreams, what would you tell them?
Be patient for yourself. Just that what also that's the road is on. And then make action steps to make I promise fall.
Action steps. Take action steps to make it happen, and things will fall into place. You have been a wonderful, wonderful guest. It was God that
Amen.
connected us. I connect with people on LinkedIn all the time. Everybody I connect with, I don't think there's something interesting enough to say, "Would you want to be on my show?" Nor do I think it may be a good fit or a match. And I don't even remember exactly what it was that you shared, that you posted, that I saw that made me think. It could have just been a description of the many things that you do. And I was like, how does somebody do all of that? Like, that's amazing, right? Like, that is incredible. That would definitely be beneficial to the audience. I know what you shared today has been a blessing to me. I know my wife was watching earlier, and she may have to jump off because she was at track practice. I promise she'll be watching back and maybe in touch with you as she is writing, screenplays and doing those things and learning, and maybe we can all build a relationship around that, as well as we know people who are looking for publishing and editing and support. Things that she doesn't do that she could pass people on, and or sometimes people come to her and she's like, I'm just not in that mode right now. I'm doing my own books. I'm doing my own screenplay. That's not her thing, right? It's not her full thing. But now we have someone who we know we can refer people to. That's a big deal. We're excited about it. I know a lot of people with a lot of book ideas, and they just need the kind of help that you can offer. My wife said she's still here. She's still here. So, all right. She's like, I'm in. So, absolutely. So we'll be in touch. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
It was so much fun. Thank you so much. Great, awesome episode. My wife should say an awesome episode. All right, you stay right there on the line. I'll be right back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much again for being here for another episode of Lucas Live. We'll be back with you guys next week, Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Whether you're on LinkedIn, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, we can't thank you guys enough for being followers, fans. Whether you peek in, whether you watch the whole episodes, whether you listen back and watch the replays, we just thank you for all the love and support, for the people who stop me at the store and everywhere I go and tell me how proud they are and how much they enjoy the show and enjoy the guests. I'm honored. This is a platform to highlight others who are doing great things, and I'm just blessed to be the person who gets to host the show. I'm the host, and I usher in wonderful people, okay? It's not about me. It's about them. It's about you. It's about God. It's about education, motivation, liberation, and I'm doing this in honor of my mom. As you guys know, I lost to breast cancer a little earlier this year, and I believe this would be making her proud. So I'm going to keep going. I'll see you guys again next week, and don't forget, we all have more to do. Everybody have a great day.